guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Candace, aka Diamond Candy if you are new here, and if you are a returning loyal subscriber, thank you so much for tuning in again. You are a real one. Today's real one shout out goes to Miss Kia Fernandez. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel, always engaging and commenting and just supporting me overall. I thank you so much. Make sure you guys turn on your post notifications and comment hashtag real one in the comments for a chance to be shouted out in this segment of my video. So today I'm going to be taking down these passion twists and also just giving my thoughts on them. This was my first time doing the style and overall I really loved it, but there are some things that I wish that I would have known before I got this style done. So I'm just going to be sharing those things with you guys, giving you some warnings before you get this style, before you do it yourself, or before you get them done by another person. So if you're interested, then stay tuned. So first, to take these down, I'm just going to unravel the twists. They are a little tangled at this point. I've had them in for it's only been like a month really, and I've had them in so I'm just making sure that I'm being careful when I get to the part that has my hair in it. Other than that, like, I'm just kind of, I don't want this to take too long, but yeah, just unraveling it as normal. And then I just pull the little hoop through, because if you've watched my tutorial, I do the method where I tie a knot with the hair. So I just undo the knot by pulling this other section through and then separate my hair from the extensions carefully. And then the hair should be able to slide through the middle. And then usually the rubber band is loose enough to slide off, but in some cases it's too tight, so then I'll just try my best to cut it or pop it without cutting any of my hair. And you could also take off the rubber band before you pull out the extensions. That might be a little bit easier for some people, but it just depends on what method you like. Okay, so number one is, I feel like you should DIY this hairstyle if you have the capacity. If you have like even a little bit of like hairstyling skills, I feel like you should do it yourself. This style isn't like box braids where I feel like you really want like a professional person to do it, just because the technique makes such a difference in how long it's gonna last and how neat it's gonna look or whatever. But I feel like this was so simple, and for other reasons that I'm gonna mention later, I just don't feel like I would have paid $150 to $300 for this style. I think I would have been upset if somebody else would have done it, but the fact that I did it myself, it didn't really matter how long the style lasted or anything like that. So yeah, just try the style on your own. It's super easy. There are tons and tons of tutorials out there for you. So yeah, that's number one. And number two is, like I mentioned, they don't last long at all. Like, they don't last long at all. They don't last as long as box braids or goddess locks or any really other style. Marley twists I had and they lasted much longer. Anything really, they don't last long. And this is just the nature of the style, because the hair is the texture that it is, like a wavy curly type of texture, which makes the passion twist look. It's just not gonna last as long as something that's done with Kankalon hair or with Marley hair. So you just have to kind of get over that, really. And from what I've seen, it really doesn't have anything to do with if you get them done professionally. One of my friends got them done professionally, and within a week or two max, you have twists that are unraveling, and like I said, there's really nothing that they can do about it, honestly. Number three is that the rubber band method is not for everybody. The rubber band method is not for everybody. Some people have super sensitive scalp. Some people have hair that is really prone to breakage, and the rubber band method will not be the best method for you if that is the case. It is very easy, and for me it just makes it much easier to install the twist. That's why I personally use it, and I don't really see any big backlash. But a lot of people have done this style with the rubber band method, ended up regretting it because they lost a lot of hair due to breakage of the rubber band. that's not necessarily my problem, but keep that in mind before you get the twist and before you decide on which method you want to do, because everybody's hair does not react the same to everything, so just keep that in mind. And that brings me to number 4. The braided method of crochet is actually a really good method. I haven't seen a lot of people use that, but I'll put a video up of somebody doing it. But it's basically when you just braid the root of hair, probably about like 1 inch down from your scalp, and then stick the crochet tool underneath the braid, well, the plait, and that makes it to where it's not a lot of tension on your scalp. You can control how tight you want it to be and how much room you want before the plait starts, and that's a good option if you are scared about pulling your hair too much or the rubber bands being too much for your hair. I personally like the rubber band method because I don't know, I just want my hair to be slick and I want it to be sleek. I want the edges to be popping. Like, that's just what I'm used to, and that's what I feel like looks good. And sometimes it's to my detriment because I'll make it too tight, like the rubber bands would be too tight and too slick, and I'll pay for it later. But that doesn't happen too often. Just on certain ones I kind of get carried away, especially around this area. And that brings me to number 5. Do not tie the rubber bands too tight like sometimes I tend to do, because you want it to be like super slick. You don't have to tie it really tight in order for it to be slick. The style can still look cute if you leave a little bit of room, one, for the crochet tool, because you have to stick it underneath, and you don't want it to be too tight to where in order to pull the hair through it's like super tight and it hurts. You don't want that to happen. And you also don't want to like I said, just put unnecessary stress on your hair, especially if you plan on styling it, because that's gonna add another layer of tension if you're doing buns and ponytails and stuff like that. And like I mentioned, my problem areas are like this part right here, like where it lifts up for like a ponytail or like a bun or something. If you start to notice like little bumps going around here, that is not normal. Like, I used to think that that's just like what happened when you got a protective style. That's not supposed to happen, and that means that something is too tight. Either the rubber bands are too tight, the hair is tied too tight, or you have whatever style you have in is too tight on the hair. And number 6, this hair is gonna tangle. Like, it's gonna tangle, and there's really nothing that you can do about that because it's synthetic curly hair at that. Like, it's gonna tangle. So the best thing that you can do is try to maintain the hair as best that you can, but you can expect it to tangle. If you notice that your hair is matting with the hair, then that's when you need to be concerned and maybe take them out. But this isn't gonna be like a shiny smooth twist for 2 months. Like, it's not gonna happen. Your hair is gonna get frizzy, the hair is gonna get frizzy. Only thing that I can say about trying to cut back on that is when you first do the twist, I made sure that I didn't like separate the hair too much. I just hooked it on. I didn't separate it at all. If you guys have seen my tutorial, I hooked it on without separating it, and then just brushed the root a little bit to help blend my hair with it. But as far as the end, I didn't really bother it too much, because you don't want to disrupt the curl so much that it takes away from how long it's going to last, because it's already not a style that lasts long. So you want to make sure that the extensions are, you know, not too frizzy to begin with, so you can give it a better chance at lasting. I personally didn't blow my hair out. I just didn't, for one, I didn't feel like it, like, to be completely real. I didn't feel like blowing out my hair, but I also didn't want to put any additional heat on it for no reason. But if your hair is gets super frizzy easily, if you have high porosity hair to where humidity just kind of attacks your hair, you might want to consider blowing it out to begin with, to, you know, have like a smoother result from the beginning, so maybe it'll last longer. I personally didn't, but it's an option if you want to, especially if you're natural and you want a smoother result. Number 9, I didn't do it, but try and make sure that you maintain it as much as possible. Make sure you're wearing your scarf at night. Make sure you have it up or in a satin bonnet or something like that, because like I said, these are very prone to frizz, to unraveling, all those type of things. So you don't want to just be laying around on them and like they'll start getting stuck together. You just want to make sure that you take as best care of them as you possibly can. I know for me, when I put a style in like this, I want to do it because I just want to like not even think about my hair. But if you want to stay as nice as possible, tie it up at night. And last but not least, keep styling to a minimum with this style. if you do the rubber band method. If you do the rubber band method, keep styling to a minimum, because like I said before, rubber band tension on top of crochet tension on top of styling tension after you already have the twist in, it's probably going to be too much for your hair. Like I said, I like slick, so if I do a ponytail, I want it to be nice and slick, and that's what caused some kind of pulling around this area of my temple, because I like really high ponytails, and that's what ended up happening. I was fine everywhere else, maybe this one too, like these right here in the corner where I pull my edges out, these pulled a lot. All that was from ponytails, buns, trying to be cute. Don't try and be cute like me. Take care of your hair. Sometimes I kind of get carried away with trying to make everything look so neat, especially after it's been a week or so and the hair is already frizzy. I'm trying to overcompensate and make sure I'm pulling it really tight and stuff like that. Don't do that, guys, because you want edges. You need your edges, so don't do that. And I've gotten nothing done, actually, sitting here talking, but that is the end of this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you have any additional things that you want to warn people about passion twists, if you've had them before, please leave them down in the description box. Let's try and help as many people as possible. Overall, I love this style. I thought it was so cute on me. It's actually really cute on everybody that I see it on. So that is, you know, very tempting to do, but make sure you have all the information before you do it, especially if you do it yourself. And do it yourself, because you want to keep your coins in your pocket. But I'm going to stop talking for now, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Mwah. Can't get away. Palm trees, beach views, all I wanna hear is in the pictures on replay.